It's working. GM.
Is it working?
No GM's back over here. What's up, Paris? GM. There you go. Come on. It's actually BJ over here. It's bonjour. But anyways, Greg, how you doing? Good morning.
Great. Yeah. Good to see everybody. Is this working good?
I think we're good. Yeah.
All right,
Sounds
cool.
good. Sounds right.
Yeah.
There you go. We're right there. Look at that. Wow, that's a nice 8, by the way. I love it.
Good. Number 3.
Number 3. Who's got 1 and 2?
I think Gordon's number 1. 8bot is 0, and then Tomato's number 2.
I'm like number 7,369, something like that. So Greg, it's good to be together in Paris.
Yeah.
We've been together digitally for a while now.
2 years coming up. Yeah, it's a little over 2 years since we founded Yuga. So, and obviously April 23rd, it'll be 2 years to the day since the Bored Ape Mint started. So, exciting.
2 years, massive brand. Paris, Eiffel Tower right behind us.
Can't beat the view. Yeah.
How does it feel being here today?
This has been really special. Like, we obviously have done a lot in New York City. We had an event recently at Miami Art Basel. Have been able to meet a lot of community members before in like LA and even a little bit in like San Francisco. But to actually do more international, that's a really big goal for us for this upcoming year. And so, kudos to the organizers of this event. This is amazing. I feel like it's gonna blow what NFT NYC is gonna do out of the water, to be honest. But this is really special.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, France is special, right? Like
Yeah.
cultural capital, one of the cultural capitals of the world, mind you. So it's pretty cool. Speaking of which, I saw you guys donated CryptoPunk, right, to the Centre Pompidou over here. I don't know if you had any thoughts on that or anything to say about it, but I thought it was pretty cool, thing to happen.
Yeah, that's a really special moment for us. Obviously, the Centre Pompidou is we couldn't think of a more revered institution to get a CryptoPunk into, and hats off to our team and to Noah for helping organize that. And that Punk 110, that was actually their selection, which I enjoy that. We basically
So they picked the
they
punk.
picked it. They wanted
No
that exact
way.
one, and so I think that was special too. I really enjoyed that.
That's pretty cool. I'm quite a punk maxi myself, so I thought it was pretty cool that happened. So let's rewind back a little bit. You're in the middle of quite, it's been an insane month for you guys, right? Yuga, I'm not gonna go on the stage. I think everyone's heard your story before. Everyone's seen your dance moves, though. If you put a little music over here, I'm sure,
Not
who
today.
wants
Later.
to see Garga dance today?
Later.
No. Okay, no, that's not on the thing. Sorry, guys, we're not seeing that Garga dance today. But that was last night. But tell me, so you guys just launched Dookie Dash recently, which was, right, Bored Ape Yacht Club's first big foray into gaming. I just wanted to get your thoughts maybe on when you guys started conceptualizing Dookie Dash and how it's been over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, so Dookie Dash is really proud of how it's gone. Obviously, it started with this mysterious event people knew only as the trial of Jimmy the Monkey. We had this, playful character, kind of anti-hero villain to the yacht club, who's this monkey. And a year ago we did a treasure hunt where we gave away a Bored Ape and some other things for people who could solve a series of puzzles after Jimmy the Monkey took people hostage. And we really wanted to surprise people with the trial, and we always imagined it would be the kind of brief. We always start with something very kind of stupid, and then work our way from there. And so the brief was, how do we make just a very absurd poop joke, but then actually put a lot of effort into it.
Pretty absurd poop joke.
Yeah, and yeah, it's been fun. It was 3 weeks of people playing. Obviously now we have Toad mode for a week. But the level
Way
of
too
engagement
hard
that
for
we got.
me.
Yeah, no, you were very bad.
Toad
you
mode.
were very bad.
Really?
You were very bad.
I think everybody who has above 118,000 points cheated. I think you should remove all of them because that's what I got.
Yeah.
Everyone above
I
118.
remember watching you on Twitch, and it was unbearable. It was every
Are you
8
serious?
seconds, it was
calling me out on stage in front of everyone in my hometown. Fuck, no, I don't know where I'm going with this. No, I'm just kidding. But so did you expect like, you were talking about Twitch, right? Like for me, I'm no streamer, but the first thing I thought of is like, wow, this is a game I can probably play because I can just move a mouse around because I'm no gamer. But you made it so accessible and like easy for us, right? Did you expect like this to blow up the way it's? Because Mongrel, if I'm not mistaken, who's a Fortnite champion, like he had won the Fortnite championship back in the days, won Dookie Dash contest, right? So did you expect it to be such a like banger?
I mean, we obviously always had hopes to really engage people, and like you said, we wanted to make it as simple as possible. I mean, endless runners like Dookie Dash are pretty common. A lot of them are some of the top kinds of games that you'll have on the App Store, but we wanted to figure out how we could do our own spin on that and make it, and also kind of condense it into a form where, obviously, this isn't a full-blown game. This is a skill-based mint. We just really wanted to have it as a moment for people to compete. Obviously, anytime there's a lot of demand for something, then you'll have pros and other people coming in to try and experiment. And I think that was one of the special parts about it is we found that the ecosystem kind of grew almost 40%. Our BOYC ecosystem grew 40% with sewer passes, and obviously that was just a free mint.
40%?
Yeah. And I think a lot of people, I heard stories where just people were onboarding their friends or like delegating to a family member or something like that to play, and then, they would enjoy
it. The family member cheated, and they lost a sewer pass. That's the story.
And then we opened up Toad Mode for the redemption a little bit. And, yeah.
No, but I thought that was cool. When you started like conceptualizing this, right? Because we were talking about it on the show a lot with OSF and Mendo. Like we were thinking about like when did this start? And thinking about it, was it always going to be like endless runner style game or whatever? Or did you like what was the original like? When did it like I kind of want to know like because Gordon said one day on the show that he likes to put things down on a napkin and then sends the ideas. Is that one of those things? Is that how this all started?
Yeah, it was. Honestly, it was like a year ago. I think the first idea was always around, like I said, the initial brief was how do we make an absurd poop joke, but then turn it into like take our toilet humor and take it into something that we really like crystallize and make it fun and show a lot of effort at the same time. Like our North Star for BOIC has always kind of been like, how do we not take ourselves too seriously, but take the community very seriously and like, give a high quality experience while also acknowledging like this has to be fun and silly. And the original conceit actually was we were gonna have apes compete against mutants, like Jimmy the monkey was gonna eat something that he shouldn't have, and then like the apes were gonna like give him stuff to like stop him up, and the mutants were gonna make
two times more mutants than apes too.
Anyway,
So you're gonna go like 2v1 them.
Yeah, we wanted to just have like a really competitive scenario, but no, we developed a few different ideas. We have a really amazing team on BOIC now that's been growing and growing. An amazing creative director and art director, and they helped really push the idea into whole new levels and also figure out a way to, which is really important for us, of like cadencing this out and having it fit into the broader roadmap for BOIC, where this is just the beginning of something that will be evolving entirely over the course of the year. And that's why we have the summoning on March 8th, and that's why we have soon after that with the reveal of Evo 1s and all that. So
any alpha?
No alpha, just the stuff on the site.
Who wants alpha over here? Come on. Let's get it. We got him. Get him. Security. But so summoning on March 8th. Toad Mode started on 22nd. When does that end again, Toad Mode?
This week. So it's Wednesday, I believe. It's just 7 days.
Cool. Yeah. And then the summoning's coming and whatnot. So wait, when you launched Sewer Pass, though, what I thought was cool was the whole delegation. I'm a big fan of Delegate Cash. Warm wallets, of course, for security purposes, right? Super important. But did you expect, because that's the question we get a lot, like even when we host and people are asking us, did you expect people to give their Sewer Pass, delegate their Sewer Pass away to professional, like, did you expect it? Because, like, this wasn't big. This one, big, like, large. Like, for Mongrel to come in and start posting his games and runs and everything, like, was that intentional, or you were just like, let's ship it and whatever?
I mean, so Warm Wallet and Delegate Cash, I think, are really important new, like, public goods for the ecosystem. Warm Wallet obviously was developed by 10KTF and We New Labs, who we acquired, and Figgy and that.
Solid acquisition right there.
Love them.
Figgy's dope.
Yeah. And Delegate Cash from Fubar and that team. And obviously security is a huge thing that we as an industry have to keep, contending with, and especially NFTs, where we're most aligned, I think, with the original ethos of crypto, where it's like we actually are self-custodying things and using these wallets daily, but at the same time, that means if, MetaMask UX and all these things aren't keeping up and we don't have human readable signatures and all that stuff, it's very easy to sign a transaction and have something, not know what you're doing and lose your NFT. So especially when it comes to a game where you're going to be token gated and constantly signing in over and over from your phone and then again from your computer, like security was going to be the #1 most important part to that. So we knew we needed to have warm wallet integration and delegate cash. But as soon as you do that, of course, that means that you can delegate to someone else and they'll play. But we thought, sure, maybe we would have people delegate to friends who are better than them or something like that. But yeah, we saw quite a few pros streaming, offering to play for other people. But most interestingly, I think the best pros just played for themselves, though. They're like, no.
Yeah, Mongrel, it's funny because we looked into it. We're like, is he getting paid to play? No. The guy went and bought the sewer passes himself, like a bunch of them, and just scored like top 10 on like 7 accounts.
Yeah, and I think he's sitting on a pretty nice offer right now. We'll see.
690 ETH, right? If I'm not mistaken. That's wild. For the key. What does the key do? You think I'm not going to try over here? Come on. Come on. And it's definitely not on script, so you had no idea I was going to ask that, but, I had to try. But so tell me, like, we're talking about Dookie Dash's success. I mean, everyone, I'm sure. How many people play Dookie Dash around here? Who has the top score in this room? What do you think? Anyone scored, like, really, really high, above 118,000 points?
Yeah. I think almost everybody scored above that. Come on.
It was a button. It was my roadcaster. But, you know what? I was okay. I was not that bad.
No, it was fine.
Okay, I played for a solid 2 days. I texted Gordon. I was like, bro, I'm going to start being a gamer because of this. I'm going to start streaming Twitch, this and that. 2 days after, I was like, nah, this is too hard for me. But it was a pretty tough one. You guys did pretty good on, like, cutting out whoever was trying to, get around the systems. How'd you go about that? Because that was pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a cat and mouse game with every game on the planet is always trying to be hacked, and it's a weird thing because you don't want to talk about the ways that you're going to try and catch people because then you're giving info to people on ways that like to look out for, which, is why I think a lot of people were like, oh, you can just edit the front end here and take away fog or something like that, and like, I've hacked the game, which is like, it's a little absurd, frankly, for people to clout chase for that, because it's like, that's like going to like, I don't know, like going to Tesla.com and then like finding a price of a car for $100,000, going to inspect source, changing it to $1 and be like, I hacked Tesla, it's $1 now. It's like, but you can't actually check out. And like, so while we, you could do that, you could play the game. It's like, obviously we had a few things obfuscated in there that allowed us to take screenshots and take care of that later. And thankfully, though, that was really only like 2% of players is what we found. So we're proud of the fact. I think it's because people were worried about getting zeroed out, like that was a possibility. So obviously keeping the integrity of the leaderboard and all that is really important to us.
That NA on your sewer pass in the metadata is like the equivalent of that walk of shame I did this morning outside my hotel, and it's not great. But talk to me about some data, right? Like, I know people like their numbers, data. So, we're talking about how big of a success it was. You hear this obviously is center of attention because it's happening as we speak. People are being toad mode every day, and you have the summoning coming on March 8th. Break it down for me. Like, what are some stats that you've seen, go around? Because this probably must have gone so many clicks, views, plays, everything, right?
I don't have stats off the top of my head actually, but it was something absurd.
Everything for me. Turn it up for everybody here.
Yeah.
Top down.
It really was absurd though, and like I think the stat that was most important to us though was that the ecosystem grew by like 40% through this, and just the amount of people that played and kept playing, and I think we underestimated just how like addicting and it could be. Even myself, like I found myself in.
What's your top score? Because you're talking shit right now.
I was like 277. and I'm busy. I'm more busy than you, so.
All right. Where's Kits? That's not in there. Was there a part where it says dunk on Farokh here? God damn. Over in Paris too, bro. I'm not that good. I'm not good at video. I was only good at FIFA. If anyone wants to take me to FIFA, let's go. But question, how did this all tie in now to the other side? Because what made me, and we talk about you guys a lot on the show in the morning. We talk about how people use a lot of Acorn to play this and play the game, yada, yada, yada. But where is the tie-in to the other side here? And how does this all play with the master plan that you guys got coming up?
Yeah, no, I mean, gaming in general is obviously a massive priority for Yuga in our future. It's pretty apparent in just the leadership that we've been bringing into the company. Extremely proud to have Spencer Tucker from Scopely as our chief gaming officer these days, who's obviously instrumental in Dookie Dash. Figgy, like we mentioned from 10KTF, a lot of people don't know, actually, he was working on League of Legends, like world champion, like esports stuff, back in the day before he got deep in NFTs. And obviously we have Daniel Allegre joining us very shortly as our new CEO, coming as the number 2 at Activision Blizzard. So we, obviously, Other Side is a massively ambitious project. We're really stoked to have the second trip coming later next month.
That is soon.
Yeah, it's
excited.
Soon. It's coming. Yeah, it's going to be great, and also more importantly that as we're bringing in new environments and new mechanics and new characters and Other Side, that we'll have also more of an opportunity to keep the cadence much higher, so that we can continue to iterate with the community, be able to take feedback on changes and mechanics and different things, because we really see Other Side as the nexus of where all our communities can interact, and hopefully where the broader NFT community can come in too. That's why interoperability and open object standards and all that is really important to us. Yeah, we're stoked.
I think what you guys are doing the Other Side is pretty cool. Any alpha on that? I'm gonna keep trying. Just keep putting him on the spot. But so you said next month, second trip. You guys obviously got a lot going on here. And you talk about interoperability, right? Is this gonna be? That means, because a lot of people talk about interoperability, but I read the article on the news Yuga thing that you guys did, where it says that anyone is gonna be able to technically build inside, right? Because you guys are gonna provide it for your own holders, but anybody else is gonna be able to.
Yeah, it's really important to us that some people I think about interoperability and they're like, oh, they just mean within their closed system. It's really important to us that we use open object standards that make sense, that a lot of different NFT communities are working on 3D models for their collections. I think there's no reason why we shouldn't have open standards that make it so that they can join into our world, but also not some janky thing that they have to abide by that doesn't make sense for their holders, their collectors, or other games out there. We want this to be, Ethereum is such a powerful network because it's composable and people can build on top of it, and it's Legos. But if the Legos are weird and shitty, then no one wants to build on them. So we want to keep it as seamless as possible, so that we can support as many communities as 10KTF does, and way beyond that.
It's really cool how many communities they support. And incredible acquisition, by the way. That was wow. I always wanted to ask that about them, actually. When you guys do all the storytelling, because there was really good storytelling, but they were on a whole other level with regards to that. Do they help a lot when it comes to how you storytell? Because I remember when the trailer came out for the Other Side, in that Dune, what is it called? The Dune Land? Is it Dune? The land?
The Bone Deed.
The Bone Deed. That thing was crazy.
Yeah. No, the 10KTF acquisition and being able to bring that team in has been extremely key for us. Figgy's definitely part of the brain trust, and spent a lot of time late at night on the phone with Wiley and I, talking through everything. And actually, funny story on that trailer they did, that 10KTF did of Wagmi-san through the Bone Deed. Figgy just cooked that up on his own with 2 people in 2 weeks or something crazy. He was just I know we're working on this other stuff, but he stole away time on nights and weekends, I think, to just have a kick-ass follow-up right there. But yeah, it's a really incredible team to have, and they help a lot with Figgy in particular. I've always admired from 10KTF the consistency at which they're talking to their community, the storytelling beats. No one else ships once a week, every week.
Every Thursday or something.
Yeah, every Thursday since the launch of the project. And crypto is an attention economy, and NFTs, like having that consistent moment for people to come together and experience something is really important. And I think it's something that like we really respected from the beginning and wanted to bring more of, and hopefully people are seeing now and are going to see more from of Yuga that we're, you should be hearing from every one of our communities at least once a month is kind of the North Star here.
Wow, that's great. I mean, you guys have always been pretty good with like, I remember early days, you guys were like in Discord all the time. Sorry. We had a long night. But it is Paris after all. But so, talk about, wow, and I'm not allowed water on stage. So, but tell me about the attention economy. You guys are pretty good at like keeping up with that. How do you do that? Because I find a lot of projects, right? They come up very fast, and it's tough to keep up with the cadence because the pressure, the bigger you get, the bigger the pressure gets, especially in the space, right? I saw a guy with a sweater that said "when" in the back, right? Same thing. When this, when that. How do you guys keep up with all this?
I mean, we're just as addicted to Twitter as any other founder, I think. But the aspect of constantly trying to like manage expectations, I think is important, of like, setting goals for yourself that you can exceed, and also letting people know what's coming, but not exactly how. And that was really important part, for example, for the trial of Jimmy the Monkey and Dookie Dash. It's just like, hey, there's something coming. It's going to be engaging. It'll be like collaborative. It's like you'll have stuff to do, but like it wasn't until and pacing that out over like a month and a half where we're introducing people to the different mechanics and what the full story beats were going to look like. But yeah, it's the hardest thing I think for founders, I think, is how do you manage expectations, deliver against them in a way that doesn't like get unwieldy or out of control, because it's very easy for people to like over speculate on what you guys, what people are doing, and we never want that. We want to be pretty upfront. Oh, they're being kind to you.
Thank you. Sponsored by Avion. No, I'm kidding. But that's pretty cool because it's very tough, especially at the level you guys are playing at, because you guys are really like have set yourselves apart from the rest of the crop, from the rest of us, just trying to build something in the space, and we're struggling in this market, and you guys are just out there just blowing it out of the water every time, which is pretty cool. I want to ask you about what's next for Yuga, of course, because we have a couple minutes left. Just quickly, how's Gordon doing? I think everybody would love to know that.
He's doing good. He wishes he could be here, of course, but yeah, just we want him focusing on his health, and very surreal for us. And I think I spent 2 years talking to him at least 2 to 3 hours a day or something like that, to all of a sudden giving him the space to focus on his health. But yeah, nothing but love, and he's overwhelmed with all the like notes that he's gotten from so many people, and like seems like there's so many like cardiologists in the NFT space and things that have reached out to him. Like
there's a lot of everything in the NFT space.
Yeah,
lawyers, doctors, this, that, CEOs, founders.
Yeah.
No, but it's great. It's good to hear, and we definitely miss Gordon. That's for sure. But I think it's cool that he took time for his own health, and I mean you're not by yourself. You're not Gordon, but you're not by yourself. I mean, you look pretty good up here, so you're fine. I get to dunk on you too a little bit.
Yeah.
Question.
If only I had your hair.
I can lend you some of mine. But see, when I get as big as you is when I start losing it. Is that how it goes?
Yeah.
I hope it turns gray. I hope I don't lose it. I just hope it turns gray instead. It would look pretty cool. But quick, so last question here is, a minute left here. But, so what's next, right? You have the summoning on the 8th. You have the second trip next month. Holy shit, there's a lot going on. You have a big team now, right? Over 100. How many people are Yuga Labs now?
About 140.
Every time I ask you this, there's 40 more people. I asked him on my stage 3 months ago, 70. I asked him again on stage like a couple months ago, 110. I saw Gordon in Miami, 120, 140. It's crazy.
It's a lot, yeah.
It's a lot. You're a big CEO now. Big CEO. I mean, Daniel's going to be big. Yeah, that's why you're bringing the big boys in.
Big interim CEO, maybe.
CEO. So what's next for Yuga? What can we leave the people off with here?
I mean, like I said, gaming for us is a huge priority of the next year. People will be hearing from our communities like once a month is the North Star here, if not much more. Opening up other side at a much more frequent cadence for people to come in and experience and iterate towards getting into a persistent world by the end of the year. And I think people are going to be surprised by and enjoy, even if you didn't enjoy Dookie Dash, if you're like Farokh and you're very bad at it, like we want to make Game 2 and Game 3, I think it will be a huge surprise if the people who are best at Dookie Dash are also the people who are best at Game 2 and Game 3. Like we want to take each of these as a method to like experiment with new types of games, you know, new ways of thinking about what skill is.
Tell me Mongrel is going to end last.
I don't know about that, but you know, it should be about skill and not grinding, but there's a lot of different ways to think about that, besides just like twitchy reaction speed and all that kind of stuff. And I think that level of, you know, integrating social aspects into these games and what people can do from like an aesthetic level and like building, there's some cool stuff coming, I think.
All right, awesome. Any last words for your olders in here? Because I see a lot of BAYC black hoodies out here. You know it.
I've just been so excited to meet everybody. My voice has already been going after the past couple days at like the Punks Brunch and Rug Radio yesterday. But yeah, it's been really delightful to meet everyone and excited to hang out today and tonight. And yeah, great. Thank you for having me.
All right.
Cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, Greg Solano, Gargo, Farokh, Rug Radio, Paris. Peace out. Thank you.